President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is unavoidably absent. And I think this one has been communicated to the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria. He is on an official engagement outside the shores of this country. But I have his paper, his speech to be delivered, and I go on to deliver it. Strengthening the judicial commitments to the rule of law and democracy, being a text of opening remarks delivered by H.E. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, at the All Nigeria Judges Conference of the Superior Courts, held at the National Judicial Institute on Monday, the 13th day of November 2023 in Abuja, Nigeria. Your noble lordships, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege and honor to attend the All Nigerian Judges Conference of Superior Courts. I wish to express my deep appreciation to the management and Board of Governors of the National Judicial Institute, NJI, for honoring me with the invitation to make these few remarks at the gathering of eminent jurists in Nigeria. I commend your lordships for the vision and commitment in organizing and sustaining these conferences since its inception in 1993. I wish to observe that the choice of the theme for this conference is quite apt and contemporary, as it underscores the role and place of judiciary in the foundation of the Nigerian Federation, which Section 14, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria describes thus, quote, "The Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state based on the principles of democracy and social justice," unquote. Whilst the Nigerian judiciary is not immune from certain challenges, it has, however, surmounted these limitations to creditably retain the status of both the last hope of the common man and the bastion of rule of law and democracy. The Nigerian judiciary has indeed evolved from the colonial days through the rich history of its contemporary worthy status today. While there may be misgivings here and there, we cannot begin to imagine the obscene nature our country would have been subjected to if there was no judiciary. I am proud of the accomplishments of our judges and the Nigerian judiciary in general in the course of nation building, both locally and on the global scene, either as justices of the International Court of Justice and International Criminal Court, or as judges and heads of court in other countries. Through a gamut of landmark judgments, the judiciary has continued to maintain the course of rule of law in Nigeria and strengthens our democratic processes and institutions. I wish to observe that in the course of demonstrating its commitment to the advancement of rule of law and democracy, especially in political and electoral cases, the judiciary unduly and undeservedly comes under myopic criticisms and infertile attacks. On many occasions, the judiciary has come to the rescue by intervening to safeguard democratic processes and preserve or restore the wishes of the electorate. The judiciary should not be blamed for the failings of the political class. We, as actors, must learn not to portray or analyze the judiciary from the narrow prism that is solely fixated on our political interest only. As a patriotic citizen and President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I am not oblivious of the challenges hampering the commitments of the judiciary to deepening the rule of law and democracy. Some of the challenges as identified by the National Judicial Council includes inefficiency and gaps within the process of appointment of judicial officers, lack of transparency and accountability in the judicial process and administration of justice, the need to improve and sustain the capacity of superior courts to promote and protect the rule of law, delay in justice delivery, the perception that the judiciary may not be able to sustain its independence, concerns about decline in the quality of judgment, and inadequacy of resources needed for the judiciary to provide efficient administration of justice in the 21st century. Nigeria's global ratings on the Rule of Law Index, Democracy Index, Open Government Index, Corruption Perception Index, etc., are no doubt discouraging. Hence, one of the cardinal items on our renewed hope agenda under my leadership is our commitment to drive the judicial reforms to achieve sustainable socio-economic growth and investment, facilitated by rule of law, as well as to reverse the negative ratings and address the challenges militating against judicial development. In view of the fact that the judiciary is largely self-regulating through the National Judicial Council, we expect the judiciary to demonstrate that charity indeed begins at home. Like Caesar's wife, the judiciary must be above board, always to retain public confidence without pandering to manipulated public sentiments. The National Judicial Institute, by its Establishment Act, was set up to promote efficiency, uniformity, and improvement in the quality of judicial services in both superior and inferior courts. Therefore, the Institute is in a strategic position to interrogate the challenges militating against the attainment of the goals of the Nigerian judiciary, and proffer and implement solutions to the challenges. The biennial All Judges Conference is one of such avenues to interrogate and chart a way forward for the judiciary to fully assume its pride of place and role in promoting socio-economic and political development in our dear nation, Nigeria. It is trite that knowledge is power. I therefore charge the Institute as the intellectual arm of the judiciary to ensure that the Nigerian judiciary does not falter or decrease in its commitment to the cause of nation building. It is also imperative for the National Judicial Council to ensure that the national judicial policy is holistically implemented and kept in tune with contemporary global best practices. I am in concurrence with the National Judicial Council when it stated that both the Council and the Institute occupy a central position in the fulfillment of the nation's aspiration for the improvement of an efficient and credible administration of justice through justice delivery institution. I must add, my lords, that our economic transformation is not just in the hands of the executive alone. The judiciary has a significant role to play in this transformation journey. It is the judiciary alone that can build the confidence of investors that commercial disputes can be resolved fairly and speedily in a manner that preserves and improves their investments. Such a realization alone will significantly improve our position to be an investment destination. My lords, I seize this special occasion to make one sentence on the appointment of private legal practitioners to our appellate courts. Considering the provisions of the Constitution, the practice in other jurisdictions, as well as what used to be the practice in Nigeria before now, I am of the strong view that in order to further strengthen our appellate courts, qualified, diligent, and experienced private legal practitioners should be considered for appointment to the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. Both the appellate courts and the entire country will benefit from this, and I so urge. Standing before my noble lords today, I wish to renew my commitment and affirm that Standing before my noble lords today, I wish to renew my commitment and affirm that I will discharge all my obligations to the judiciary as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, regardless of all odds, subjective criticisms, and self-serving innuendos. I sincerely look forward to contributing my quota to building an effective judicial system in terms of rule of law, independence of the judiciary, separation of powers, improved funding and human resources, probity and transparency, speed in justice delivery, among other identified measures, so as to strengthen the judiciary to better drive social order, economic prosperity, good governance, and attainment of the great goals of the Nigerian judiciary as laid down by the National Judicial Council. In furtherance of the above, and upon assumption of office, I did not hesitate in granting assent to the constitutional bill for the increment in the retirement age of judges of superior courts, as well as provision of guarantee for your lordship's pension entitlement. In the same positive disposition and in satisfaction of the yearnings of critical stakeholders, including the body of benchers and the Nigerian Bar Association, I have directed the National Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission to review its previous unacceptable recommendation of 114% increase in the remuneration of judicial officers and come up with a more realistic rate that will reflect the present economic realities. I am optimistic that the process will be concluded expeditiously within the shortest time possible. Making the judiciary independent and comfortable is a feat that I have done elsewhere. I assure you that more will be done. Just a little time. Just be a little patient. I hope that the foregoing will spur your lordships to greater performance in the cause of nation building. It is my earnest expectation that the academic exchanges and legal submissions at this conference will further strengthen the commitment of the judiciary to the strengthening of rule of law and democracy in Nigeria and beyond. In conclusion, let me borrow the admonition of my noble Lord, Honorable Justice Ibrahim Mohammed Musa Saulawa, JSC, in the case of Yantaba and Governor of Katsina State, 2022, 1 Nigerian Weekly Law Report, page 259, at page 357 as follows. Quote, "The Nigerian democracy is fundamentally predicated on the rule of law. Thus, where the rule of law reigns supreme, political expediency ought to be sacrificed on the altar of rule of law in order to protect and guarantee the continued existence of democratic institutions vis-a-vis fundamental values of liberty, peace, security, and development throughout the country." Unquote.